Hi, everybody. This is Bill Soroka, founder of notarycoach.com and author of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, Sign and Thrive, How to Make Six Figures as a Mobile Notary and Loan Signing Agent. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about social media strategy. One of the most common topics that I get in my mentoring calls from notaries all across the country is this topic of social media and how we can utilize it to get more customers. Let's face it, social media is overwhelming. There's tons of considerations. There's all kinds of things to be thinking about. And unless you're a pro at it, it can be a little, overwhelming. So to get started, when you're going to start a social media strategy, I highly recommend that you just stick to what you know. If you are comfortable on one particular platform, stick to that platform. And you can always grow. Whenever I first started this thing, I started out on Facebook and I kind of grew into LinkedIn. Then I grew into Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I have no idea how to use it, and that's okay. I can figure that out as I go, and you can too. Just stick with what you know for now. If you don't know any of the platforms, you're probably going to choose just one. And the reality is, Facebook is probably where the bulk of your customers are going to be. And Instagram is owned by Facebook. So those two play really well together. So if you're just getting started on this thing, just start there. Now, most of us, though, already have a social media platform. We kind of know what we like to use. We have the general idea of how social media is going to work. But the real challenge comes in knowing what the heck we're supposed to be talking about when we're on social media, especially when it comes to doing business. So what are we supposed to post about? That's the question that stumps notaries the most. What should we be sharing? What should we not be sharing? The reality is, hey guys, the answer is going to depend on who your ideal customer is. So let's start there. Get really clear about who, like Grant Cardone says, who's got my money? Who is the person or the group of people that are going to benefit the most by sharing your value and you being of service to? So what's that passionate journey? Who's going to benefit the most out of that? Lots of notaries begin the social media strategy without gaining that clarity. So instead of speaking to an audience that can be of service to and will help generate money or income for them, they end up speaking to other notaries. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with speaking to other notaries and sharing tips and tricks and parts of your journey. But the reality is, for most of us, most of the notaries that are out in the field, talking to other notaries is not who our ideal customer is. They are not going to benefit from our services, and we are not going to benefit from theirs either. So our jobs as business owners is to make sure that the people who need our services the most can find us. Our job is to make sure that they get what they need. That helps them, and that also generates income and lifestyle for us. That's what business is all about. So who is your ideal customer? If you're focusing on loan signings, this might be escrow officers, title agents, loan officers, closing attorneys, you name it. But for general notary work, that's when social media strategy really gets exciting. So in general notary work, your target audience could virtually be anybody. It might be people who are in the estate planning stages. It might be that they're buying or selling cars. They could be adopting children. Their options are literally endless. People need notaries for all kinds of services throughout their lifetime. So that gives you a lot of opportunity to talk about things. So now that you know who you're going to talk to, the question then becomes, what are you supposed to talk about? So first, let's talk about what not to say on social media. And this could probably be a whole video on its own, but let's just have a couple of pointers here. First, we want to avoid talking about religion and politics. unless you're prepared to accept the consequences of doing so. If it's a passion of yours and something you want to talk about, that is acceptable for you. But for the most part, as a best practice, we want to avoid those topics on our business page. And second, and probably the most important thing that we want to avoid doing, is constantly selling stuff, or selling ourselves, selling our services on social media. Very rarely are people on social media to be advertised to. So it's real important that we're adding value, you're sharing your passionate journey, and you can sprinkle in a few advertisements every now and then, but you don't want your whole page just to be ad after ad after ad testifying to how great you are. That will get old and you'll lose some of your audience that way. Now, instead, we want to, like I said, we want to bring the value that a mobile notary in general can bring, or you and your personality can bring. We want to be able to show that. And to do that, we're going to be sharing some of the passion that you share in this journey. Now, one of the cool perks about this business as a mobile notary and loan signing agent is that just by doing our work each and every day, we are presented with the exact people and opportunities that we need to share an interesting social media story. So consider sharing maybe some of the upcoming law changes in your state regarding IDs, maybe some ways of transferring auto buying and selling automobiles, some of the misconceptions of what notaries actually do, because the general public has a lot of those. And 80% of the population has no idea that they can contact a mobile notary and have them come to you. So we have this huge opportunity here. Now, we also meet incredible people along this journey. You can share human interest stories. You can share the 100-mile trip you made, share the amazing breakfast joint you found along the way. You can tell us about the World War II vet or the Vietnam vet that you helped sign for their retirement home. People love to hear how much you love what you do and how good you might actually be at it whenever you share that journey. And guess what? People work with who they know, like, and trust. And with the right social media strategy, you can give your ideal customers the chance to really get to know you, get to like you, and get to trust you. That's how you take your mobile notary and loan signing business to the next level. And that's what we're doing here. That's why we continue this level of education. That's why we watch videos. That's why we participate in courses. And we have these mastermind groups so we can get ourselves to the next level. So the question that we should really all be asking ourselves as we go through our days of being of service to our community is, how can I turn this work into a blog or a social media post? That's the most powerful question that you can be asking yourself. Now, to give you a little bit of a head start, because I still know that it's overwhelming, especially if you're not used to working on social media, we have created 52 topics that you can use for blog posts or social media posts in your everyday work. You can download that for free. I'm on live right now, so I don't have the link right there for you, but I'll get that out to you as soon as possible. And that will give you a new topic, something fresh to talk about, at least a prompt of something to talk about for every single week for the next year. Guys, I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait to see you on the next level.